Well, it is Friday once again. We thought it would never come this week, but it did at last. It's good to see everybody here. Just a crowd in chat already here for the podcast today. Thank you so much for being here. Thal was here actually first, Thomas. It's let's see if I can show you here. And this is what he said. He said late. And we weren't late. We're right on time. We're perfectly on time today. It's awesome, Thal. Thanks for being here.
It's always Thal's fault.
It is. Everything is Thal's fault. He might say otherwise. As a matter of fact, I think he has a saying that he frequents that involves blaming you for everything. AJ, it is so good to see you here. Let me make sure we can see you. She says, I miss you and love you all. How's your new job going, AJ? It's good to have you here. We do miss you during the days. Hopefully you can catch the replays during the week. But love that you can catch up with us here on the weekend here. Wonderful here. Let me sneak right past you in the aisle. Hey, I've taken this aisle. I've actually put shopping carts on both ends, so nobody can use anything down this aisle. I just don't want anyone to walk in front of the camera. I've got all my wires set out on the floor. Lainey says, love the t-shirt. I'm not wearing a t-shirt. Thomas, what are you wearing? Do you have something?
Oh.
Let's see. Would you look at that? Would you look at that? That looks amazing. You had to pull some strings to get that, I bet. They don't just hand those things out.
No, a good friend of ours that joined us on the ski trip. Actually, it's her business, and I took the picture and sent it to her, and she said she could make a shirt with it. So she did, and it actually got dropped off today.
Awesome. That is cool. It does look good. It probably looks better on you than it does on me. But that's awesome. Oh man, it's been a crazy week, but it's good to be the weekend. It's been a long time coming. All the things that have happened this week, weather-wise, it's been just crazy. Just about every part of the U.S. Look in the last, if you go back to the last 3 weeks, almost every part of the United States had some absolute insane weather at some point during the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's been insane. Between snow in California, where some cities got 12 to 18 feet, to tornadoes and straight line winds. Good friends of mine, actually, during yesterday's event, a lot of damage in their neighborhoods, their houses. My good friend works at a golf course. They got a lot of damage there. And then today, it continued up into Kentucky, Indiana, parts of Mississippi, northern Alabama. There were other tornadoes and wind damage reports and things. It's just nonstop. And that system is continuing to move, and then it's going to dump some snow in the Northeast as well. So that thing is just wreaking havoc on the continental U.S. this week. It's been nuts. It's been
a crazy winter. It's funny you should mention California and the snow, because I was actually looking and there was a story I wanted to share with you about the snow in California. Most of us growing up, whatever part of the country we're in, most of us have been able to have a snow day or experience a snow day where we don't have to go to school because the snow comes and you get to stay home. Well, in California, they had a reverse snow day. They had 600 school kids, elementary and junior high age school kids. They got stuck at school because of the snow, and it was for like a couple days. They couldn't go home because of the snow. It's like, this is the worst possible snow day ever. It's like all you can do is sit there and do homework. And it was it. They were actually at a day camp, like a science camp, where the school had busted them up into the mountains, and then the snowstorm came and it just socked them in. They couldn't go anywhere.
Can you imagine being that age and being stuck at school for that long?
Yeah. Man, it would be like, and the parents are home being like, it's like vacation here. It's quiet. Oh man, it would be crazy. But what a story, man. It's like I went to school and I couldn't go home.
That's wild. I wonder, do you know how much snow they got? Were they allowed to go out and make snowmen and play at least, or do something? Or were they trapped in school?
Let's see. This was in the Irvine Unified School District. So maybe you can tell me here a little bit about the. All I saw was pictures of they had like front loaders, like big construction equipment trying to clear snow. So it was probably over a foot of snow up in the mountains that they got on those roads. I don't know the exact area, but it looked pretty serious.
That's wild, because that's not an area that's known for heavy snow by any means. Being down near Southern California, now there's mountain ranges in Southern California that do gather snow, but in Irvine itself, That's wow.
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
They
Oh,
said
gosh.
they had plenty of food, and everyone was safe. They had facilities to take care of the kids, food and water, and I guess they had some ways to keep them comfortable. But that's a long school day.
That is. I'm glad they weren't out on a school backpacking trip or something like that, where they're out in tents and whatnot. Albeit, hopefully, they saw the forecast, so teachers wouldn't do that. But
Well, now
holy
when
cow.
you go to school, you might have to just pack a sleeping bag just in case, because you never know what's going to happen. Maybe a portable tent, a little campfire, s'mores kit or something like that. Plenty of
Right.
square school pizza, says Ivan. School lunch for everybody. Oh, man.
What they sleep on? Like mats from the gym or something?
They
Maybe
didn't
I guess.
say. They took care of them. I guess it was a camp scenario, so it's probably a facility that's able to house camping
Oh, okay.
for during the summer and things like that. So they probably had the ability to handle it. It was meant to be a day trip, but it became more than that.
Multi-day trip. It's funny. Red Pen in chat says, "I feel sorry for the adults with those kids."
Seriously, the numbers. There's like one adult for every 20 kids at one of those camps, and trying to get them to go to bed on time. That was just like, I want my charger for my Nintendo.
Right.
Oh, that'd be crazy. Glad it wasn't me for sure.
No. So I wonder if they called emergency services to help get them out, or if they just threw in the white towel. So we're here to stay.
Well, they
We'll
made
wait.
it a priority to sort of get them out, and the parents had phone communication, so they were able to communicate. I think there was a little bit of drama with some medication issues, but they were able to get that sorted out. It wasn't that the roads were completely impassable; it's that the school buses couldn't get down. It wasn't safe to travel, and so they were able to bring some supplies back and forth. But still, that's a great day.
That is good.
Cass is saying, we're speaking of California, did you see the car chase 45 minutes from Long Beach north of 101 ended about 20 minutes ago? Cass, actually, as we were warming up for the podcast, we were actually watching. I saved it on my replay device, and we were watching in slow motion some of the times where the driver fired through the window or fired out the window at the police. So we'll probably share that another time, but it was high speed, super dangerous. Had a very dramatic ending too with I don't know, what was it? There was like a whole team, like 15 police officers to one suspect, and they got him. They got him
Between
cut.
the police department and the sheriff's department, there was 12 to 15 officers, and they cuffed him, and then they picked him up by his arms and legs.
He was
and they
almost
just
hogtied.
carried him. He was.
They weren't messing around.
No.
Not quite like Arkansas. I mean, Arkansas, they would have put that truck in the ditch a long time before. But at least there was a good ending. Hopefully, no one got injured. That's what I'm hearing. I don't think anyone was injured in that, other than possibly the victim. But
Right. Real quick, I'm seeing Maggie Carr in chat says, "How much money did we raise for that family?" Last I checked, which it's been a couple hours, but I think it was a little over $1,800, which is amazing. It's awesome. I've received a few texts from the father of the family. They are forever grateful. They can't believe it. So for all of you that did donate or shared the link, or sent thoughts or prayers, whatever it is that anyone did, thank you so much, because they are unbelievably grateful, and they're really excited and happy. So it's awesome to see this community come together for people that none of us know.
Yeah.
It's wild.
And Thomas, thanks so much for bringing that to our attention. And it's just a credit to your character that you saw somebody in need and stepped up to help. I'm glad we could all help there. That was a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun. Absolutely. What's not fun is when you're hangry,
Oh man, I've been there.
unless you're doing a podcast from the grocery store aisle and you've got all the means accessible to you.
I'm tempted just to grab one of these jars and pop it open. I don't have any forks. Oh, we've got some toothpicks back there. I could use that to spear some pickles. Oh, this will be good. I'm good. Yeah, go ahead.
So this is absolutely hilarious. I forget the town of where. Oh, I don't forget the town, but I know it was in Canada. So a lady's she's hungry. She heads out for lunch break, and she chooses Burger King, which that's her first mistake in my opinion. Then she gets there, and it's a really long line. So what does she do during the long line? Does she park and get out? Does she do a mobile app order or something? Nope. She calls 911 to tell them the drive-through line is too long.
So hello 911. What's your emergency? Yes, I'd like to file a complaint. I'm here at Burger King, and I need my flame broiled Wonder Burger. What do they call it? The meat.
The Whopper.
The Whopper. The one that's not
Yeah.
meat though. It's the
Oh,
mystery meat Whopper or whatever it is. It's not meat. It's all like plant based something. I have not tried it honestly. I've heard it's good, but did it help? I mean, was there like an officer in front that they were like hoping that they would move and try to respond to the call?
so yeah, no response other than via Twitter the next day when they say, "We understand you're not yourself when you're hangry, but calling 911 for a long line does not fall under call an emergency." So they used the word hangry out on Twitter from their official page, which I thought was awesome. And then it's actually funny. The story continues to say something recent has happened of a non-emergency 911 call. Again, this is up in Canada, right? They roll them out to police to there. Recently, someone called 911 to where they could find a Zamboni. So
We're talking about an ice machine, like a hockey rink.
yeah, a resurfacer, a Zamboni.
Was it stolen?
It didn't
like a
elaborate.
low-speed chase. Just follow the ice. I mean, that's how you find it. I tell you, I've watched. I actually filmed I was a cameraman for a hockey team in Utah, in the Maverick Center, and so I got to film some things. Those Zamboni drivers are absolutely incredible. I mean, these guys could park anything anywhere. Parallel parking, no problem. They can turn on a dime, and they're like within inches of the wall. I don't know how they do it, but they just fly through there and get that whole rink looking, in tip-top shape and never hit anybody or anything.
No, they're really good at what they do because they drive one direction all the time, multiple times, and they get used to it. Since we're on the topic, from my hockey days, I actually got to know our Zamboni driver really, really well. And so one night late after a game, for those of you that have ever seen a Zamboni, the whole big front cube of it gets filled with snow because it's shaving the ice from behind. It's sucking it up and throwing it in there. And usually in the back of the arena, it's kind of called like a hot wash bay. They dump it into hot water, it melts and runs out. Well, one of his coworkers had been on him all night long, so he's like, "Hey, come watch this." So he pulled his Zamboni out in the parking lot, went around, and he dumped the whole front hopper of that snow right behind his car where it's parked. So there's no way he could get out. He couldn't leave because it was, I don't know, in the 20s that day, so the snow wasn't going anywhere.
Oh my goodness! Even during the summer, it melts slowly when you've got a big pile like that. I mean, it takes some time.
Yeah.
I remember
So he had to call his wife to get a ride home. It was hilarious.
I remember the Zamboni dumping the ice. They'd always dump it just off. They'd like lift a little scraper, and there would always be like a little pile of. And I'd try to make like little snowballs to throw at people when we were ice skating. I was that kid. Yeah,
I see that.
yeah. I was the troublemaker there, but.
Yeah. So Ginger Meadow said, "I didn't know that's what a Zamboni did." So for anyone that actually cares, when the Zamboni is going across the ice, what it's doing, it's actually scraping a layer of all the chewed up ice from either the figure skaters or the hockey game or whatever. And then the water you see laying down is actually warm water because then it melts that layer very, very slightly and then refreezes really, really fast. So that's kind of the short makeup of what a Zamboni does and how it works.
And you didn't think you'd learn anything today. I just thought. I didn't know it was hot water. I thought it was just steaming because it was like cold water, but the temperature difference would do it. But
no, hot water gets a quick melt to smooth it out, and then it freezes really quick, and off we go.
Amazing. That's pretty cool. Well, speaking of police, right? The police were called in Cohasset. I think it's Cohasset, Massachusetts. Okay, to a school. Because they were doing just a regular routine inspection on the school. They go around, they just make sure that, windows aren't broken and the doors all lock and things like that. It's a routine inspection. And the guy's like, that doesn't look right. And he sees like extension cords and things run in places on the outside of school and then going under the school where they shouldn't. And there's like some ducting and things. It's like, this is weird. Something's not right. They call the police. Well, maybe Ivan would like this. Someone had set up a cryptocurrency mining farm underneath the school in the crawl space using the electricity from the school, because that's one of the biggest costs of cryptocurrency mining is the electricity usage, and it generates a lot of heat, so they have to have fans and ducting. And it's like, free electricity, just mine underneath the school and get your Bitcoin that way. And it was just crazy story that of all the places to set it up.
You sure that was West Virginia, not Wisconsin?
That was Massachusetts.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm looking at something different. Oh, in Mass. Okay, because for some reason my mind goes to Wisconsin because I think Ivan might be from that area. So
Ivan, I'm not sure if he's here. We're throwing him under the bus without him being able to represent him. Oh, he's here. Ivan's here. He says, I can take the governor off a golf cart and make it go 30 to 35 miles per hour. See, I think he'd be up for making a cryptocurrency mining farm underneath the school. And, and really what that is, I mean, it's called a farm, but for those that aren't familiar with cryptocurrency and Bitcoin, it's a virtual currency. It exists on a computer. It's like just numbers, ones and zeros. And so a cryptocurrency farm looks like a whole bunch of computer hardware with fans running. Like you had opened up all your processor, your CPU, and it's the guts of the computer just chugging away, processing numbers.
Gotcha.
Yep. But that was, you mentioned West Virginia. We had a story out of West Virginia as well that was a little bit different. Not as much police involvement, but they did have to call. They called the Environmental Protection Agency in West Virginia was called because people were concerned. And for those that aren't familiar with West Virginia, having never been there, I'm sort of speaking, off the cuff here. But West Virginia was really the center of industry, way back when. And the reason why is they had so much coal. A lot of the mountains in West Virginia, they just take the top off the mountain, haul off the coal, and close it up. And they suffered from a lot of pollution from that as a result, and a lot of, and everyone sort of moved on from West Virginia. I think West Virginia, side note, they're paying people who used to live in West Virginia to come back. It's like $10,000, $20,000 or something to come back. It's like a tax incentive if you come back and work there. But that's not where I was going with this. So West Virginia, they've had some pollution problems before. People were actually concerned because there was a powder they were sensing in the air. And this is right after the balloons have gone over and everything, and everyone's just on high alert. EPA comes out and does all sorts of tests. Okay. And they found out it was pollen. It was pollen. Everyone's sneezing and stuff. It's pollen. It happens every single year. West Virginia is loaded with trees and greenery, and apparently this year is just a bumper crop for pollen. I guess it's good news for the trees, bad for our sinuses. But it took the EPA to figure it out.
Thousands of dollars, pollen. Oh, that's funny too. When you mentioned the tax incentive to live there. I believe, at least last I checked, Alaska does something like that. Not just moving back, but to become a full-time resident of Alaska. Yeah. I think you have to live there for a minimum 2 years before the government subsidizes your living. And it wasn't a lot, but it was per year and per residence of a household that you basically kind of get like a little stimulus for being a resident of Alaska.
How much?
Last I heard or looked, it was like $250 a year per person. But
is this like the oil pipeline revenues or something? They have like a fee that's generated from the mining. Is that what's passed on to the citizens?
I think it might have been, but it was for me. Keep in mind, this isn't something I recently looked up for the podcast or anything. This was just something I had looked up from, again, back to hockey days and playing up there a bunch. Was probably 5-6 years ago was the last time that I kind of looked at it.
It's tempting. I mean, it's tempting to go up there, especially if you have like a lot of kids. How old do you have to be to benefit? I mean, if I adopt like 30 or 40 children, I'm wondering if I can become independently wealthy living in Alaska. Of course, I'll have to feed and clothe the children.
Does it say the amount of eggs? There's no chance with that many kids.
That won't work. It was a good idea while it lasted, though.
Yeah. So speaking of food, which happens to be a weird topic that just has influxed this podcast for some reason. It's
because we all eat. It's the one thing we have in common. Well, we probably have more, but we'll just stick with eating for now.
We all do eat. So we're gonna leave the continental U.S. We're gonna head out to Germany. There's an ice cream parlor there, and
Germany has good food.
Yes, they have Belgian waffles are the best ever.
Yes, German pancakes.
Yeah, is falafel German? Am I going to get made fun of for this?
I think I am because I don't know.
Oh, chat's about to lay the hammer down if it's wrong. So I'm going to move on swiftly.
Okay, quick.
So
We'll pretend we didn't say anything. Go on.
So this ice cream parlor, this guy's come out with this brand new flavor, and everyone's really excited. So it's an awesome vanilla cone, flavored with crickets.
Excuse me?
Yeah, he puts dried crickets on top of your cone. So here's.
I think I just threw up a little in my mouth. This is an ice cream. This is a treat, like a frozen confection. We're talking about the same thing.
Gets better. The guy's known for trying abstract flavors. So previous was gorgonzola cheese mixed into ice cream, or the custard if you have it. Chandra's right. Falafel's Arabic. I felt when I said it was not German. I'm trying to think something else. But the other flavor he had was liver. Now it doesn't touch on, or I'm sorry, liver sausage is what he puts on there. It doesn't say from what animal, I'm assuming. But yeah, it's we're not trying that on this show. At least I'm not.
Please tell me these are not the options for the next week's taste test.
No,
because I don't think I'm going to be there. I couldn't do that. Is there going to be a test? Because says Georgia Culture. Ritz is like, I'm dying. Red Pen says yuck. Barbara Marie yuck. I got so excited for a second and now I'm disgusted. Cricket ice cream next week's challenge. No, AJ. No. We will not go there.
Negative.
What's the worst food you've had? If in chat, let's just as far as like maybe the worst thing you've seen on a menu. I'm not talking about something obscure that somebody ate on a dare type thing, but like what's the worst menu item that someone tries to sell and make money at, and assuming there's a market for? Ghost pepper ice cream. I've
Sounds counterintuitive.
I've heard you actually do eat ice cream to help cool the burn of the ghost pepper.
But then you get more ice cream and you get more ghost pepper. So what do you do?
Brussels sprouts, says Lee. I had goose liver pate and couldn't even think about it, but it was good. Myra is just not a fan of tomatoes, apparently. Pickled eel.
Oh, I'm 100% with Adam Nusky. Pineapple pizza. Can't do it. No chance.
Adam, Thomas, you guys are wrong. I hate to have to break the news to you guys. This is the only thing I will eat pineapple on. I cannot just eat a piece of pineapple. Like pineapple rings, whatever, chunks of pineapple. I cannot do it. But you put it on a pizza with Canadian bacon, and it is heaven. It is so good. Oh, man. Matthew Harris says, I'll eat anything that hasn't eaten me yet to bring on the cricket ice cream. Matthew, we may have to remotely dial you in for that contest, and you can let us know how it tastes.
There it is. You and I get a pass on the next podcast. It's Matthew Harris is the guest doing that food challenge.
Yeah, it'll be easy. You don't have to really prepare anything. You just have to, other than get the food and set up your video camera and maybe a bucket.
So he has to go to Petco to get some crickets that they feed and then dry them out.
Live crickets.
Now I'm feeling bad about this.
Octopus, spaghetti on pizza, pizzagetti. That's raw. What is kibbeh? I'm saying that right? Chandra? I'm not sure what that is.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let's see. Oh my goodness. Richard, I think you've hit the nail on the head here. He says, Recovery Addict, I have you challenge chocolate and spicy maple bourbon pickled juice deviled eggs. You're very close because this morning, I boiled some hard-boiled eggs and I just stuck them in my jar of spicy maple bourbon pickle juice. And I asked around, I asked some friends, some trusted, some confidants, how long I need to leave them in the jar. And I've heard between 1 to 2 weeks, depending on how much brine you want. Or how much flavor, and I don't know if I want any flavor or how much I want, but I think 2 weeks is good. I think 2 weeks is a good time to let them sort of marinate and soak up the juices. Yeah. I will tell you that after I peeled these eggs, and I might have cooked them a little too much. You can tell when you cook a hard boiled egg a little too long. I probably gave it the 20-minute cook when I should have given it the 10, and so they're a little bit strong. They're sort of tan on the inside, even though they're peeled. They're fresh eggs, but they're just a little bit tan. Just have a little bit of a sulfur type smell. And I put them in the pickle jar, and I sort of did the sniff test just really quick. And I might have a new least favorite food after I try this.
Oh, no.
Because the two did not go well together. So I'm hoping after they marinate for a little bit, the smell and the flavor will sort of even out a little bit. But apparently liver is the worst. I'm looking in chat. Liver's been mentioned several times. But
I can't get on board with the liver. It's not going to happen for me.
Man. Worst menu item that I would never touch is squid. So Ginger Meadows. Undercooked rice. It's that it sticks in your teeth, AJ. That's the problem. And in it sticks in my throat. Like if I eat too much rice, it's like it doesn't go down, and like what do I do now? Pickles on pizza. I have not had that yet. Let's see. Oysters on half shell. Yum, says Lee. I've never had an oyster. I've fished with oysters for crab. I think actually that was a mussel. Yeah, it was mussels. We used mussels on a string over in Norway. This is a funny story. You want a funny story? Squirrel moment. Over in Norway, went over there because we've got relatives on my mom's side up in Norway, and we stayed there just outside of Oslo in a little town called Larvik, and we basically spent, I think it was like 10 weeks there as a family. And just the summer, it was absolutely incredible. But on the beach, I was there with my aunt. She's like, oh, you can fish for these crabs, and you just take a mussel, you sort of break the mussel up, and you put it on a string, and you dip it around the rocks, and you get little crabs, and it's a lot of fun. And so I did that, and she took a picture of me as I caught my first crab, I'm lifting it up, and it's like hanging from the mussel, and I'm all excited. I'm like, I've got this face that just looks like it's painful almost to hold the face. I'm smiling from ear to ear. She takes a picture, and she submits it to a photo contest, a national photo contest in Norway, and she wins second prize. She takes second prize. The winner was a bird's nest, like little birds in a nest, and it was beautiful. So now I can officially say I took second prize in a beauty contest because I did over in Norway. I still have the picture. I'll have to share it sometime. I'm wearing embarrassingly short shorts in the picture, but it was a lot of fun. I was just a little kid, and still remember that. Good memories there. Anyway, I don't know. Oh yeah, oysters got us there. Oysters and mussels. Is there any other food you saw in chat that might turn your stomach a little bit?
Not that turns my stomach, but DW says deep fried Mars bars. I want to try that.
It sounds like something you have to get at a county fair. Like you can't get that at like a restaurant. You have to get it at somewhere that's they're going to cook it for you, and they'll be gone before the health inspectors can really catch up to them.
True. I'm sure Mrs. R.A. could concoct that in the kitchen.
We could do it. We could try it. As Chandra says, haggis. I actually enjoy haggis. It's I've had it cooked for me a couple times when I was over in England. They explained to me what haggis is, and apparently it's a three-legged animal that runs around the hills of Scotland. I think they were pulling my leg, but I think the other description I had involved like the innards of. It sounded awful, is what it is. The innards of all the parts that you don't want to eat. Like after you've taken your best cuts of the animal for your steaks and your all the good stuff, and then you take the rest that you can't use and you make hot dogs. And what you can't make into hot dogs, you make into haggis.
Oh.
And then they mix like some oatmeal type thing in. It's really weird. You sort of boil it or fry it or something, and it wasn't bad. Of course, I don't know still to this day exactly what was in it, which might change my opinion. Thank you, Myra, for the super chat. Who's a fan of cow's tongue? She says it's the best taco ever, or blood sausage. Cow's tongue taco. Is that? I've seen cow's tongue at the store once, and it looks like literally that there's just a cow's tongue in the package, and they just shrink wrap the top, and you just buy it. I don't know how to prepare it or eat it or.
Nope.
I have a hard time tasting something that was also tasting me tasting it. That's just it's like an inception type thing, which went first. I'll pass on that one, Myra. I'll take your word for it. The best taco ever.
I'm with you there. I will say, Tag just said haggis is brain sausage, and I think it's brain from a sheep, if I'm not mistaken.
Are you
But
serious? I did not know this.
I'm pretty sure. I didn't know 100%, so that's why I didn't chime in. But Tag's saying it, and I think I've seen Abby post something about sheep brain. So that might be what haggis is. I'm seeing a lot of diverse foods that people are really loving. That's what's so cool. So many, Chandra, I'll pass on any organ meat. There's so many diverse palates out there, so to speak.
Wow. It would be fun if we all did like a potluck and everyone brought their strangest, the thing that you're most likely to have somebody else go, really? You eat that? If we all brought that together, it would be a fun little get together.
Judging by chat, we'd all be left with our own crock pots by the end of it.
It's like no one wants. It's delicious.
Yeah.
I'll take it home and eat it for a week. That's it. You're fired from internet due to cow's tongue, says to Myra. Oh, man.
All right. So since we're on food, I think it's time. Some people know, some don't. Mm-hmm. Last week, I believe it was Myra, once again, she gave a suggestion for a food to try. And I have to be transparent, okay? Based off of what Scott had to try last weekend. When I saw the suggestion, it's nothing I've ever had. It doesn't sound great to me, but it didn't sound terrible. So I jumped on it. I guess I better try it so I didn't get stuck with something bad.
Take one for the team and get the good one, right?
That's kind of what I did there. Yeah, I kind of backdoored it. So Myra suggested it had to be crunchy peanut butter with cream cheese sandwich. So okay. I've made one. Okay. I've got it cut up.
Before you take a bite, let me just say, my challenge was an Oreo with a spicy maple bourbon pickle.
Terrible.
And in anticipation of you trying your delicacy that you're going to have today, I just did a little test. I went out on Google and I searched for recipes, the number of recipes I could find that included spicy maple bourbon pickles and Oreos. And I didn't get any hits. Okay. And then just for kicks, I did the same thing with the two items you're tasting today. And there are pages and pages of delicious looking and sounding and tasting food that include these two ingredients. I just don't think this is fair. I don't think in the spirit of the challenge that all things are equal here. I don't know. Gripe's done. Go ahead.
So Google search.
Tell me how good it is.
Over 10 million recipes in 0.3 seconds for my.
It's like, where do you want to start? I mean, there's so many places to go with this. So tell me again, what do you have there?
All right. So it's crunchy peanut butter with regular original Philadelphia cream cheese. And Myra, I don't know. I didn't get instructions. I did lightly toast the bread first just because I knew my sandwich was going to sit on my desk for an hour before I got to it, so I didn't want it to be soggy.
I'm with Red Pen on this one.
What's Red Pen got to say? LL Fair's fire? Yeah, true. That's the way it is. So I'm not a huge fan of eating on camera.
Let me just say, what if this is poor? If this does not go well, what are you going to wash it down with? I did milk, which was you'd think would go well with the Oreo, but it did not go well with the pickle. So what's your safety net?
So this is what I fill my white cup up with all day long while I'm working. So
good clean water. You can't go wrong there.
No, I'm ready to wash it down.
Okay,
if I need to.
Here we go. Go for it.
All right, here's number one.
Thomas, this is not right. This is not
It's awesome.
They do not equal. Cheater says French fry.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, this is a winning recipe. This is like, let's add this to the lunch menu. Is what. Let's hear a description here. I'll let you clean your palate. I realize it's hard to talk with peanut butter in your mouth. I'll give you that. Tell us a little bit about the tasting experience. Give us the full experience without actually us trying it ourselves.
Ooh, Lori in chat, keep that in mind for a second. Obviously, I can taste the peanut butter right away. The cream cheese gives it a bit sweet. I will say, it's tough to do it with the peanut butter as normal. Cream cheese, you add that in and then chew. It's like you have triple peanut butter as you're trying to chew your food.
Yeah.
So that makes it a little
Did
tough.
you put it on pretty thick?
I kind of medium for both, but I made sure the spread was 50-50. It was really good. It's made it a little bit sweeter with a dash of tang. I'm going to say I'm not a big PB&J fan. It's not really what I ever like to eat. I would eat this sandwich.
So how many more pieces do you have?
Well, so I have one more.
Okay.
But
Ivan says you're not supposed to enjoy the challenge. We want pain.
I know. Sorry to let you down, Ivan. So I've got an audible here.
Mm-hmm.
Piece number 2 is crunchy peanut butter with strawberry cream cheese to mimic a PB&J. I just got curious.
This is not right. This is just not right. Can you add like some vinegar or something to it to, to give it a little variety? It's like a strawberry jam on a peanut butter sandwich is basically what you're eating right now. This is not a challenge.
Not as good.
Really? Not as good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Original cream cheese
I take
was
a
way
little
better.
bit of pleasure in that.
I'm disappointed. I thought that was going to taste like a PB&J. No, the original cream cheese and crunchy peanut butter was much better, and it was actually really good.
Okay, I'm going to try it. Not right now, but I will try it. Did you have any other variety, or are you good to go? I did 2. You did 2. That's fair. I mean, it really isn't, but
You did 3.
I did.
I went back to original.
Oh man, I'm starting to regret the idea of me trying the hard-boiled egg brined in spicy maple bourbon pickle juice. I might need a break between with something that's just absolutely delicious. So chat, I need you guys to help me out a little bit. Clearly, I cannot come up with good tasting recipes to try on my own. Now that we know that the yummy stuff can be on the challenge, what should I try next time? That would sort of even the scales a little bit, considering how lightly Thomas got off on this one.
Well, Myra has great suggestions. I think you go with her last one.
Myra says, "Yay! I knew you'd love it. I agree. The original's the only way. Sorry, RA, you deserve better. We did you wrong. Oh, you did me. I did them so wrong, right? Is that I did them so bad? What's the phrase? Is it too soon? Is it too soon to use that phrase?
Oh, I did them. They did them. Adam Nusky, that's hilarious. For your next challenge, Weather Watch, maybe just try ham and cheese. That might be bad. I get it. I love the sarcasm.
Maybe grilled ham and cheese. A little bit. Yeah. This is not a challenge. I mean, ordering from Papa John's or from what's that other place? That fast food, Jimmy John's. That's not a food challenge. I need to see you eat like liverwurst on. Yeah, just liverwurst. Apparently, that's what you need to eat.
It's really uncomfortable to eat on camera.
Eat with a spoon. Oh man,
it's really uncomfortable to eat on camera. But I definitely don't want to vomit on camera either. Yeah. That would be more embarrassing.
Yeah, I'm worried. Actually, I'm worried about the eggs. I'm worried that. First of all, they're sort of floating, okay? Because the hard-boiled eggs are floating now that they're peeled, and I'm not sure if that's a good thing or bad thing. I thought they would sink, and so I'm worried about the part of the egg that's like not in the pickle juice. Granted, it's in the fridge. I just don't want it to be the best part. It might be the only part that's good, but I'm stirring it and like sort of stirring it around to try to even it out because I just don't want it to go bad. I want the whole egg to be sort of pickled, but. Grape jelly on pizza. My 7th grade teacher made us try it, says KXStar. We actually liked it, but it had to be the local pizza shop. No go on every brand of pizza.
That's interesting. I will say in my defense, okay, I don't like cream cheese. So when I saw the challenge, I thought, well, okay, it doesn't sound terrible, obviously. It's not like what you had to do. But I don't like cream cheese. So this is something I never, ever in my life would have ever tried or eaten. If someone said, hey, you want one? I'd go, no. So in my defense, I did go with it. I knew it was lighter. It just turned out to be really, really good. And I have leftovers, so I'm going to have it for breakfast tomorrow before I start my
AJ says vanilla ice cream with balsamic. If you know, you know. I'm not sure if that means yes or no. Is it really
That's a
good?
yes.
It's a yes?
That's a yes, what she's saying there. I would try that, I think.
Ivan has a whole prison cookbook full of suggestions that he's going to text to me. A tag says, I still haven't tried rotated casserole. I haven't. I have the recipe. We switched our diet is the problem. And so now we're eating a ton of salads and pickles, of course.
Oreos.
Nacho Doritos with baked beans and hard-boiled eggs on top. Those seem to all go together. The baked beans, maybe, I don't know. But the rest, they're not too different, I don't think. I'd be willing to try that. It sounds like something you'd make it as like a Boy Scout camp when everyone sort of brought food, but they brought food for the wrong menu. And he's like, well, what do you have? Type thing. Well, I got nachos, and I've got baked beans, and I've got hard-boiled eggs. And you're like, well, sure, throw it in the pot.
Right.
That might work.
All right, I'll do the next challenge. Easy Watts.
What's easy say?
Same sandwich. I just replaced the cream cheese with the marshmallow fluff.
Like, oh, man.
And I hate marshmallows, so I'll have to give it a try.
Seriously, though, we're only like one step away from a s'mores. Okay? Peanut butter, chocolate, they go very well together. They're very similar. Marshmallow, bread. She's practically taste testing a s'mores treat. So
Yes, I'll have to give it a try, dang it.
In the spirit of that, I'm going to test a Reese's peanut butter cup and see how that goes. Kathy says, I had this tonight. Popeye's chicken sandwich with spicy maple bourbon pickles instead of their pickles. I highly recommend that. That's really good, Kathy. That sounds really good. I like cream cheese on turkey sandwiches.
Oh.
I can say my stomach is churning right now with the pickles and other items.
I will say I am now going to try cream cheese on more food items based off of that.
Have you had them on bagels? I mean, that's the cream cheese and bagel is the original, right?
It's the only way I ever touch cream cheese. Now I'll use it in cooking. Like I love to make my own homemade macaroni and cheese, so big old glop cream cheese goes in mine and other things like that. But as far as just being kind of a spread or a condiment on its own, bagels the only thing I've ever done it on. That's it.
Do you prefer like the whipped, like the Einstein bagels type, nice easy
Gotta
spread?
be the cream.
Do you want the straight heavy cream? Okay.
Yep.
I like it either way, but that's good. I'm looking to see if there's any more suggestions. S'mores with spicy maple bourbon pickles. Everyone knows that's good. Peanut butter with marshmallow fluff is delicious. This is like what kids will sneak out of the cupboard and eat when you're not looking, right? Yeah, some challenge. No Weather Watch, you don't get to pick, says Lynn.
I'm teasing. I know.
I'm with
teasing
Lynn here. Cream cheese on salmon in the oven, sprinkled with crumbs of bread. Now this sounds like gourmet. This sounds really good. Man,
It's opened my eyes.
There's so many foods out there I haven't tried. And my kids, I have to admit, my kids are the pickiest eaters ever. I mean, if they had their way, one of them would only eat bread. Like nothing else. Bread, milk, water, and then anything with sugar in it, of course. But another one, any chance, if you could say, I will get you anything you want for lunch, anything you want, any restaurant, any food, any menu item, well, no cost, money is not an issue. What do you want? Macaroni and cheese? Macaroni and cheese. Western family
Staple.
macaroni and cheese. But I don't know, they're great kids, but trying to get them to branch out and just, really let their, the palate experience all that the world has to offer is difficult. And all you parents know that. It can be a challenge sometimes.
I was terrible as a child. I feel so bad looking back for my parents, knowing how picky of a palate I had, what I refused to eat, and putting my dinner in my napkin into my pocket and excusing myself to the restroom so I could throw it in the commode and say I'm done with dinner and all that. And now
6 times to the bathroom, lots of flushes.
Yeah, right. Thought I was so slick. But now as I got older, things changed and I tried more and I appreciate so many more foods. And I wish I did that when I was younger because my parents made a lot of really good food that I just refused to eat.
Yeah. A lot of people know that I don't drink alcohol. And while I was over in England, I was having dinner at this really nice Jamaican lady's house, and she made this, I'm sorry, but really awful, like rice, a very gritty rice. I mean, think about not cooked rice. It seemed like she had like cooked a cup of the rice and then just at the last minute dumped another cup in just for good measure and not cooked it. Okay, so it was like that mix, and then it had like, bone-in chicken, sort of mixed in with, and then there was a sauce that really didn't add a lot to it. And then she also had the fried plantains, the banana type things, and I'm not a big fan of all that, but I was eating the food, and to wash it down, she had this juice, and the juice like burned a little bit. It had it was like a carbonated type burn thing, but it was all I could do to wash this down. And you know, buddy who was with me keeps filling up my cup, like, here, get some more juice, and I'm drinking. When I left there, it felt like someone was like twisting the sidewalk underneath me as I'm walking. Like I was trying to walk straight and the sidewalk was turning. So yeah, that was my first experience with alcohol. but it was an interesting experience.
Did it solve the rice problem?
I was able to finish what was on my plate, but you can't chew it because you're going to like chip a tooth with that much just dry rice. And so you just sort of have to position it in your mouth and then just wash it down in one big gulp. And then, of course, the rice in your stomach, it just swells. And so you eat everything, and then you just feel like you're bloating. It just grows.
Absolutely.
Oh, man, enough yucky food stories. What was the yellow sauce? I don't know. I don't know what the yellow sauce was. It was I think normally you'd think like a cream of chicken type thing in that sort of rice and chicken dish, but it wasn't. I don't know. It was a type of gravy, but it just seemed different.
Some sort of curry, maybe?
It was thick. It was almost like congealed type thick. Yeah. Abby was saying I need to try Marmite. Is that like Vegemite? Because I believe I've tried both when I was over in the UK on toast, as a matter of fact. Actually one of my favorite things to eat over in England when I was over there was for breakfast was the I think it's called like a Weetabix, and basically what they do is they you go down to the recycling plant, you take all your cardboard boxes and they shred it up and everything, and they pack it to little biscuits and you eat them. No, it's actually it tastes like cardboard. It's a little compressed wafer, and you have to sprinkle some sugar on it, but then you pour milk on it. It just sort of grows in your bowl, and then you eat it. And it was a fun breakfast cereal. I actually enjoyed it. It was fun. Is it Weetabix? Abby, you can tell me if I'm right about that one.
She says, yeah.
Wendy's asking questions about the description, and yes, it was as bad. It was as bad as you think. There's more. That is not the worst. I can tell you another story that turns my stomach thinking of it. Also, I won't share that one. It's too bad. Well, people will tune out. They'll say I can't come back if this is what it's going to be like. I can't listen. It's so bad. It's curried chicken. I like curry, but it was like a Jamaican type curried chicken, so it was interesting. Tuna on white rice or on yellow rice. Somebody, let me see, who was it? Who suggested this? Was it Pauline? Pauline said, I have to ask you about a couple items. She said to try either pickled pig's feet or pickled pig's ears. Never tried either. I hope to keep that record the same for many, many years to come. But then she also said white rice with ketchup. And I'm willing to try ketchup on most things. And so I'd put that in the maybe pile. I wouldn't like to serve it for dinner with guests over type thing, but I'd be willing to try it.
I would try that. Yeah, I wouldn't be too scared of it. I'm with you. I don't know if that would be my go-to quick lunch break at my desk type meal, but I don't know. Maybe we'd be surprised.
DW says, I'll send you some Weetabix. I was right on the Weetabix. It's fun. It's fun to eat. It's fun to just, those little toys you get when you're a kid. They're little. It's like a pill case, but you just stick it in water, and the sponge. It's got a spongicide that just grows. That's like what Weetabix is. Only there's no case. It's just like a compressed disc that you add a little milk to, and it just fills up.
I'll be dang.
It's really fun. Y'all should do a Q&A call-in every show, says Ivan Victor. My 2 cents. We might do a Q&A at some time. I'm just. I hesitate. I just want to be gentle on Thomas. You guys can be pretty rough on him, when weather turns bad and things like that. You seem to hold him accountable.
Especially Ivan.
I don't want to make him cry. That's what I don't want.
All right, I got to throw a blanket over the food because
Okay.
it's getting rowdy.
All right.
And we're getting recipes that it's churning my cream cheese a little bit, but I can handle it.
We might have to end soon.
Yeah.
We don't want
there's
that to
been some-
happen.
We've got another cow tongue sandwich coming in, so we've got it. This is
Okay,
what we call a hard transition. is
Let's
what they
do this.
call it, right?
Let's just say, for all these great ideas in chat, send the suggestions for what you want us to try. We'll add it to a list, and maybe we'll just draw a name out of a hat. Draw a recipe out of a hat for future shows. So send us to us on the burner phone. Your suggestions. We'd prefer that they're not like dares that will permanently scar us emotionally or or physically, something like that. So the ghost pepper challenge, probably not going to happen. The one chip challenge, I don't think I'll sign up for that one, but if it's like some people like it type thing, I might be willing to give it a try. So send that to the burner phone over this next week, and that'd be great. I guess we'll save that for later. We might have a 2 week. We might have a little hiatus due to scheduling issues. But enough food. Where do we want to go from food, though?
So people have favorite foods, which is awesome. So we'll segue into our next segment, which is our top three. That Scott and I pick on our own. And we don't know what our top three are, which is kind of fun, so it's a surprise. But you and chat can put in your top three or your top one, what have you, because everyone is going to have at least one for this one. So this week's top three is, and there could be 20, we understand that. Top three's a little low. But your top three favorite movie quotes.
This will be good.
This will be good. Chat should go crazy with their quotes.
Okay, I'm just going to say that I think whatever the quote is that Thomas does, he has to do it in the voice like it's from the movie. I didn't tell him this beforehand.
I don't even. Number three, may the force be with you.
Went with the Star Wars right off the bat. Oh,
Right off the bat.
Okay, here we go. Get off my lawn. How was that?
That was well
that all
done.
right? I haven't seen the movie. I just know the quote. Now that I own a house and have a yard that I maintain, you guys, you've heard the tree incident. Okay, I take pride in my yard. I like it the way it is, and sometimes people come by that. This morning I went out there and some people had thrown some beer bottles out on my lawn. I'm like, I just want to tell them, get off my lawn. Okay, what's your number two?
All right, number two. This is going to be terrible since you set us up for this, but I'll be back.
Oh man, that was my number one. That was my number
Was it
one.
really?
Now I need something else.
Arnold. 19.
Get to the chopper. No. Let's see.
1989.
Oh man,
When was the first Terminator? Maybe we can do. I gotta Google this real fast.
Let me know what you find. I'm thinking now I've got to find a replacement for my number one. This one. This is actually funny. My wife and I, Mrs. R.A., we communicate in like pop culture movie quotes all the time. And so there's some movies that we've really enjoyed together. And so multiple quotes from the movie. I like Myra. Say hello to my little friend. There's some movies that the quotes just, they always pop up. And we just share them in regular conversation in public. And one of those happens to be from a show called Galaxy Quest. And I can't do it. It's the female actor who says it. She's like, I've got one job on the ship. It's stupid, but I'm going to do it. And it's funny when people use that in comments. But that was Galaxy Quest. Galaxy Quest has a ton of just hilarious little one-liners. It's one of those, if you haven't seen it, it's the movie about, it sort of makes fun of Star Trek and mostly Star Trek. It's a parody of Star Trek. And it's worth it. It's worth the watch. Go rent it. Go to the one remaining Blockbuster in the United States. Rent the VHS. I've got my Blockbuster card. You know that? Look, as I show off my. Let's see. I think it's right here. It's right here in front. I'm trying not to show my credit card number.
Wow, they changed since I was last there.
That's Blockbuster Rewards. The store's gone. But just in case they come back, just in case someone resurrects the business, I am a card-carrying member, and I'm ready to rent to rent a video at a moment's notice.
Or the one time you get ice on your windshield, you can just head on out there and
Dual
give it a
purpose.
scrape.
Dual purpose.
We've got a ton of quotes in chat.
Okay. Good. You read those while I think of a number one, because you use mine.
Let's see. I'm going to have to slow it down on my end a little bit. Tag says, I feel a slight itch. Now I must be imagining things from Dirty Work. I love it. Let's see here. My chat goes a little bit too fast. Oh, I love it. Dilly Pickles. Toto, I don't think we're in Kansas anymore.
That's a good one.
The Wizard of Oz. Let's see here. There was a bunch further up.
Frankly, my dear. Oh, it's just scrolled off the page. Can't read it. Sorry.
AJ's got one here. It says, don't put it in your pocket where it will get mixed up with the other coins, which it is.
No Country
for
for
Old
Old
Men. Country. Yeah, I remember that one, actually. That's good. I've got to scroll back down. Oh, Myra with a super chat and a movie quote.
Let's hear it.
I can't even say that name. I want Salazzo because I don't even know this quote. If not, it's all out war. We go to the mattress. Who knows where? I don't know where that's from.
This
and
is.
I don't even think you could read
talking about we go to the mattress. This is like a mob reference. Go to the mattresses, right?
And she says, "Who knows this one?" Someone's going to know it in chat,
and they're going to make fun of us for not knowing it.
Yeah, that's what we're here for. They get what they pay for. And this podcast is free.
It's on a tight budget, too. After all, tomorrow's another day. Gone with the Wind. Dilly Pickles. I'm lost. I'm not a fan of movies, says Cass. Lee here agrees with Mutt on the quote. How come
Myra's upset?
But not me. Myra's upset that we don't know her quote. Is it who's the go-to, like Al? What's the mobster dude? Like the Al Capone.
Al Pacino?
Yeah, it's probably Al Pacino, but I thought it was like Al Capone type guy that has.
The actual person. Yeah, Al Capone. I don't. We're getting get roasted.
It's like the horse head in bed type scene. I've never seen this movie either, but I know the reference. I'm going to scroll down to the bottom and check.
Yeah, I'm waiting for someone to bail us out. If we have any friends in chat,
please save us. Myra's going to kill us. She's going to shut down the internet if we don't get this right. The Godfather. The Godfather. Okay. Oh, Myra. Oh, big mistake. Have you shared your number one yet? Because I'm not sure if I.
Nope. And I'm going to get made fun of for this, but it just fits my personality.
Go for it.
And just at least what I think and where I go with it. But so you're saying there's a chance?
Yes, love it. I think that's it's Dumb and Dumber, right?
Got it.
Yes, I got it.
Favorite one. I love it.
That's a good one. Let's see. I'm still thinking. I wanted to do like a Monty Python the Holy Grail reference, but some of those quotes are a little risky.
Yeah, and it's hard when there's 20 good quotes out there.
How about a movie that was very impactful on my childhood because I related to some of the people in the movie? I want my $2. How about that one? Or also, at the same time, you'll shoot your eye out. Yeah, that was
Ralphie.
That was growing up. That was me. I still right now to this day I have a Red Ryder BB gun, lever action, just like Ralphie in the movie.
That's Ralphie with A Christmas Story, right? Mm-hmm. And the leg lamp from Dad.
I don't have a leg lamp yet, but it is one of my life goals to get that life size and convince Mrs. R.A. to set it out on a table in like the front room.
I love that movie.
Put the bunny back in the box. Over the line. Big Lebowski. Twister in Spanish. There's no basement in the Alamo. Yippee-ki-yay, mofo. Sorry. I just realized where you're going with that, Al. Yes, on a globe. Pull the lever, Kronk. Wrong lever. Why do we even have that lever? I love that.
What? Yeah.
That's I know the quote. It's like squeak it or squeaky, squeaky, squeak 'em. It's the my kids love the movie, and I can't remember the name of it.
I can't recall it either. I like Dilly Pickles has
Emperor's
one of
New
my faves.
Groove. Emperor's New Groove.
Oh, that's right. Yep. Got it. So Dilly Pickles says there's no crying in baseball, and that's Tom Hanks, if I recall, is the coach. It's the all female baseball team, right? I don't remember the movie though.
Yes. Is it like the Field of Dreams type thing, or what's the? I can't think of any other baseball movies.
I can't remember the name, but I see it in my head. Tom Hanks is the coach, and it's with the girls, and they end up doing great at the end.
All right.
I've seen it a bunch of times, but I don't have a name. League of Their Own. There it is. Thank you, Dilly.
Hip Hop Anonymous. You have to know this one.
Hip Hop Anonymous, and he's trying to read hippopotamus, and it's from Big Daddy.
All right, I'll take your word for it. I did not get it. I would not have gotten that one. I would have taken the big L on that one, Myra. But I'm glad Thomas bailed me out.
I might have whiffed, but I think he was trying to read hippopotamus, and he says that. Let's see, with our little delay, what happens in chat if I got it or totally struck out.
Myra says yay, so that's a yes. We got the confirmation. Oh, yes, Katrina. I honestly, I thought about this one. 'Tis but a scratch. Come back, I'll bite your kneecaps. Love Monty Python. What's the airspeed of a European swallow? Or African or European? It's not a question of where he grips it. That whole movie, any line out of that movie is just quotable. It's amazing. Let's get the leg lamp, says Richard. Hey, you guys.
Yeah, that's a staple.
Yeah, good movies. Now we're all going to have to dig out our movie collections tonight and watch whatever the favorite was that came to our mind. Let's see. Izzy Watts has Ghostbusters 2. I never watched Ghostbusters 2. I watched the original. Make no mistake, it's not revenge he's after. It's a reckoning. Tombstone. I shared my story of my cowboy movie that we made.
Yeah. Right.
Luckily, it wasn't involved. Did I tell you the young women? I told you that they tipped over a tombstone when they were making their movie, and they just about got arrested. That was pretty funny.
Yes.
Who has seen the 1970 movie Duel with Dennis Weaver? Duel. Is that the driving one? Like that the whole movie is just like two cars driving and trying to run each other off the road or something. I seem to remember a movie like that was pretty intense. I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
That reminds me of the movie Kirby. Remember the little magical beetle bug?
I'm drawing a blank.
He was the little
wait. Yeah, no.
The Volkswagen Bug race car.
Herbie.
And he's
Herbie.
Yes. I love that movie.
That takes me to grade school. When I was in grade school, we had I guess if we were good, we got a prize. Like once a month, the whole school would get to watch a movie. They don't do that nowadays because they get like some blockbuster movie. We'd all get in the cafeteria and they'd set up the projector and we'd watch the movie. And they did it every month, but I know we weren't good, so I'm not sure what the reason for it was. But one day we watched a Herbie movie, and that was cool. And then the next month, they showed us a movie called The Black Pearl, and it's like a rated R movie that has like a one scene. There's like fight to the death inside a fire ring with deadly tarantulas thing, and I'm like scarred to this day. I'm scared to death of spiders because of that. It's not arachnophobia. It's that in grade school they showed me this scary movie of this guy, picking up tarantulas and squeezing them, and it was awful. And I swear they showed it to me in elementary school. I don't know why. Maybe it's because we were bad that month. We got the scary movie. But Herbie was the other month, and that was fun. I do like Herbie. I like how he'd pee on their shoes and stuff when they were
Herbie the Love Bug. Yeah. And his lights, he would do his thing, and they beat the Ferrari. I might actually watch that after the podcast. I like that film.
That's good. That's some good stuff. Let's see. I think there's enough movie quotes that we could probably go on for about an hour. And the problem is I'm way over my head. We have professional movie critics in chat that are naming movies I've never heard of before. I thought I was well versed, but I'm not.
I'm seeing people go bam, 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 movie quote, quote, quote. This was I failed on the top 3 subject this time. We're getting slaughtered. It's impressive.
I'll have what she's having. That was a quote. I don't think that word means what you think it means. Oh, that takes me back to my name is Benito Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. Come see the violence inherent in the system. That's another one of Monty Python, The Holy Grail. That's funny. These are good. I'm going to have to scroll through this and find a movie to watch. You're killing me, Smalls. RM, you must know. I know the phrase. I've heard that. I've used that phrase. I don't think I've ever seen the movie.
You're killing me, Smalls. You have to know it.
Sandlot? I saw someone say Sandlot to Myra. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thanks for bailing me out. I didn't know it, Myra. I admit I lost that one. Oh, The Duel is a semi chasing Dennis Weaver and trying to kill him. Yes, this Tammy, this movie, there's almost no speaking in the movie whatsoever. It's just like some dude in the old, like we're talking like I'd call it a land yacht. Okay, it's one of those big wide cars driving the old plastic steering wheel, and there's a semi truck that's like trying to pass him, and it's like a back and forth leapfrog, and they're in the middle of nowhere, like in the mountains of California or something, and they get more and more aggressive with each other, and eventually the truck's just trying to kill the guy and run him off the road, and in the end, like the guy's like almost like maniacally insane. That's the right word. And I think the truck goes off the edge and blows up. Sorry, it's ruined the movie for you, but he ends up surviving, I think. But it's a creepy movie.
That reminds me of when you said there's like no talking. The movie Castaway with Tom Hanks. Oh, I believe, don't quote me, but there's a section where there's over 45 minutes, I think, in the movie of where he doesn't talk at all. And that was some of the beef some people had with the film because it was a little bit longer, and there was no dialogue. So over 45 minutes with not a word spoken, I think. I'm going to have to look it up. But
do you know what my biggest beef with that film is? I want to know what was in that package. The one he didn't open at the end.
I didn't even catch that.
There was like one package he like delivered that he had saved. He had opened like all the rest. That's how he got Wilson, the volleyball and everything. There was like one package that he like saved, and just it was like mentally it was like there's still hope, type thing. And he ended up delivering it or something, and at the end he never checked. I'm like, you can't do that. There has to be a Castaway 2 because I need to know what is in that package.
Yeah, we need one more plane wreck. I mean, what do we?
Yeah. Oh man.
All right. What do we got? We've been live an hour and change.
Yeah. Do you have a couple more stories we can share real quick before we end? We've got to transition from the movies because I'll be here all night.
Yeah, same. Do you want to hit a couple stories, or do you want to go to over under?
Let's do a couple stories and then over under.
A couple stories.
Yeah.
All right.
My over under is pretty quick.
So it we can segue right from movies. This is Abby. This one's for you. In the UK, there is a real life sleeping beauty. So she can sleep easily 18 to 22 hours at a time. And there's been times where she has slept for 4 days straight.
This can't be healthy.
Well, that's kind of
almost
the
hibernation.
irony.
That's like hibernating. It's not sleeping.
So the article refers to her as this hibernator, right? Yeah. That's what they call it. Once she falls asleep, she can't be woken.
Not even with a kiss. I guess that's how the story goes, right?
Well,
Prince Charming comes in.
It doesn't say anyone's tried, but
is she single? Asking for a friend.
Someone in chat, Ivan. But She said it's actually been detrimental to her because people call her lazy and you need to set more alarms and da da. But it's actually a condition. She even had fallen asleep once. She went out one night with some friends and was sitting in a booth at like a nightclub setting, and she fell asleep at the booth. The bouncers called the cops and everyone to come get her and drag her out because she was too drunk, and they were trying to accuse her of being over, and she wasn't. She was just overly sleepy.
You do a blood draw and there's no alcohol. She's just tired.
Yeah. So there's an actual term for it, and I have to revert back because I'll get it wrong. Idiopathic hypersomnia, a rare sleep disorder that causes the sufferer to be very sleepy during the day, even after full nights of good sleep, according to the Mayo Clinic. It often causes difficulty waking up after you've been asleep. If you have a nap, you generally don't feel refreshed and you wake up confused, disoriented. What she discusses, she'll wake up and she doesn't know what time of day it is or what day it is herself. It's crazy.
So I'm trying to diagnose that or break that down. Idiopathic, that's where it's like it happens sort of randomly and for weird reasons and very infrequently, right?
Yep.
So it's just, they basically say she just sleeps a lot and we don't know why. That's the name of the disease.
Yeah.
So,
and hypersomnia, the reverse of insomnia, right?
Yeah. Man, I'm lucky. I'm not complaining, but Mrs. RA will tell you that I can sleep within about 15 seconds of laying down and closing my eyes. And
Same.
and it's just, you put me on a soft surface and, just enough not bother me. It can even be noisy. Lights on, fan, doesn't matter. Close my eyes. I'm out. It's just, but I only sleep for like 5 to 6 hours and then I'm up. My body wakes up. I can go back to bed and sleep a little longer, but 5 or 6, my body's like, done, get up. There's work to do. But
I'm a similar boat. Yeah. Drop of a hat. I'm out. I'm done. Yeah. In fact, Mrs. Weatherwatch has a slew of pictures that I get to my phone when I wake up in the morning of my funny sleeping positions with either a cat on my head or the dog on my shoulder or me upside down on the couch because I went to sleep. So
you wake up with a crick in your neck. You're like, oh, why didn't you wake me?
Yeah.
That's
and then I get evidence on my phone. Oh, that's why.
You're a deep sleeper then.
Very much
so. You're like the hibernator over in England. Speaking of hibernating, though, bears right now are hibernating, and when springtime comes, they start coming out. They start, looking around. They're hungry. It's a good time to see bears out in the wild. And actually, this week, the National Park Service sent out a tweet about bears, and if you happen to run into bears in the wild. Which is nice. But they said that never push a slower friend down, even if you feel the friendship has run its course. And this is their tweet because it's sort of funny, when we talk about seeing the bear in the wild, you don't have to outrun the bear. You just have to outrun your friend. But apparently, the National Park Service says that the practice of feeding another human to a bear is discouraged, and you shouldn't do that even if you don't like the friend anymore. And they were responding to a question from someone who sort of self-identified as the slower friend. Like, what do I do? I've been invited to go on this trip. And they say, you might want to just reevaluate. Make sure that friendship is strong right now before you go out. But don't be the slow friend if you go out in the woods looking for bears.
Get a new pair of running shoes.
I can show you the tweet. I'm not making this up. So hang on just one second. Where is it? It is right here. Just one second. There it is. February 28th. 9 million views. If you come across a bear, never push a slower friend down, even if you feel the friendship has run its course. So there's good advice for everybody.
That's classic. I thought it'd be like, remember, dispose of your trash in the bear-proof bins, blah, 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 blah. But just don't knock over your
advice is different
friend.
now. It's a new age. Now they have to address the concerns that come up more frequently. So apparently it's the people feeding their friends to the bear.
That tweet happened because that scenario has happened.
Yeah, seriously. Somewhere, someone did this, and this is why they have to say this. But, oh, man. I'm petrified. I love going out in the outdoors. I'm petrified of bears. I would hate to run into one in the wild. Black bear, brown bear, grizzly bear, polar bear, it doesn't matter. I do not want to run into one. It scares me to death.
I wouldn't want to run into one either. I wouldn't mind seeing one.
Maybe through like a spotting scope. And I had a car nearby, and I could get in and drive away really fast. But I don't know. Anytime they're looking at me, I know what they're thinking. It's probably like, I could take him. That's just going through their head. Like, should I? I bet he'll run. Fast food. Yeah, I'm up for it. That's what's going through the bear's mind as he's like eyeing me. It's one of the reasons why I ran cross country in high school, because I did not want to be the slow friend.
That got pushed down in the park, the national park.
Oh man, let's go ahead and do over under. We've been on for a little bit. I don't want people to go to bed without hearing what is good and bad in the world, according to our opinions.
Yeah, and these are always controversial, right? This always stirs the pot, and I always lose a couple friends every podcast from this segment. But
you have to offend a few people, or you're not doing it right.
I have to. So I'll start with my underrated.
Okay.
And it's actually pretty popular, and a lot of people have it, but I think every single person should have it. It's satellite radio. You should have it in your car if you can. Not all cars are equipped for it, right? But you can get the apps and you can have it in your home. The reason I say so, more so my opinion comes off facing have it in a car, because I was able to drive all the way across the country without changing the radio station one time, and very minimal commercials.
There's something to be said for that.
Yeah.
This is why I have YouTube Premium, because I can just watch all the videos I want without commercials. And do you get commercials on satellite? I mean, can you get channels? I assume you have to pay for it, right?
So you pay for it. Some channels have more than others, but a lot of it's really minimal. It's definitely not like your standard AM or FM that their revenue is driven from ads only. So it's minimal. But you go an hour down the road, I'm on FM 103.9. I've got to search and dial and find whatever station I'm driving into. Satellite just follows me the whole way.
See, where I live out in the country here in North Carolina, I'm right between like two radio markets, I guess maybe three. And so there are times where I'm just driving just a short distance, 1 or 2 miles, and I'll get 3 different stations on the same station. So I'm trying to sing to my favorite song, jam. I'm that guy at the light that's just full on belting it out like I'm at the Grammys type thing, singing my favorite song, and pounding on the steering wheel, doing the drums. I'm doing the whole thing, and then it cuts to like talk radio, and then it's like and gospel, and then back over to rock, and it's like all on one station. So maybe satellite would fix that for me, so I could at least have the same song all the way through without switching to another channel, because I'm in no man's land.
Never cuts in. Now, I don't know if you have this in your area or where you travel much. The only drawback is if you're in a bigger city and you're under overpasses, parked. If you go quick enough under it, doesn't do anything. But if you park, it will cut the satellite signal, whereas FM signal still gets transmitted. So it's happened a few times here. I'm sitting on a stoplight under an overpass for a couple of minutes, and then my radio goes.
It's probably the buffer. It probably buffers a little bit, and saves a little bit, and then plays it back, so there's no skipping.
Yep.
I'll have to look into that. That might solve my dilemma, because my kids hate it. Actually, they hate that first of all, they want to know how I know every song. Okay, I've listened to every type of music since I was a little kid, and so every song that comes on, even if it's one I don't know, I have the ability to repeat what I'm hearing very soon after I hear it. So it's almost like I'm singing along. And so even if it's a song I don't know, I can fake it and they think I know the words. It's that good. And so I'll make it up and sing, and I'll make up the harmonies and things like that. And I'll try to get them to sing, and they're completely shy about it and don't want to do it. But I try to make them. I think anytime they're riding in the car with their dad, they should be thoroughly embarrassed. It's one of the things as a dad that's my responsibility. So
it's your fatherly duty. Absolutely.
And maybe Sirius radio or satellite radio will make this possible for me. Okay, so that's your underrated.
That was my underrated. Yeah.
Okay, so this might be a little bit weird, but I'm going to go with underrated is going to be dry erase markers, like Expo dry erase markers. Underrated. Most of us grew up in an age where they used chalkboards at school and chalk and erasers, and that was awful. I mean, there's other than like the perfect way you hold it, the chalk skipping, the chalk scratching, I hated all of it. I hate the chalk feel on my hands. Dry erase boards altogether are just It's like the next best thing since sliced bread when it comes to, a teaching tool in the classroom. But dry erase markers, the reason why I say they're underrated, and I just found this out just recently. We had a classroom where somebody had drawn a brilliant picture with what they thought was a dry erase marker.
Oh, no.
But it was a permanent Sharpie. It was a permanent marker. And you scrub that thing and it gets a little bit lighter, but you almost have to like sand to buff it off and refinish it to do that. And so I'm scrubbing away at this, trying to, to clean up this huge board in this classroom. And this lady comes in and is like, no, you don't have to do that. Just grab one of the dry erase markers and color over it and it wipes right off. And it did. A dry erase marker will get rid of permanent marker. And so I thought for that, they are definitely underrated.
That's the truth. It's funny. I didn't know your story was leading to that, but now that you said that, I remember learning that trick one point in time too. You can scrub and scrub, and it just makes a big cloud basically of nonsense. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you just trace over it. I wonder what it is. If there's anyone in chat,
it's magic.
We'll leave it at
it's magic. Having scrubbed at that, I know it won't come off any other way, but some dark magic that Expo was figured out. That being said, I am frustrated that it seems like you only get to use a dry erase marker once. And no matter how tight you put the lid back on, when you take it off next time, it's dry and it's gone. The magic is all out of the wand. It doesn't work anymore.
Well, it's in the name, right? Dry.
Yep.
It's just like instantaneous.
Yep.
I agree with that.
All right, let's go back to your overrated then.
Perfect. Speaking of solvents, chemicals, what have you, my most overrated thing, and this is switching gears, but it is products mostly for cars, from my experience, but any product made by Rain-X is completely overrated. It used to be good when they first came out with apply this to your windshield and you don't need wipers and you watch the water bead off your windshield and life's good. It got worse and worse and worse. They've made more products and other products have surpassed their quality by a million miles. And I know this because of our ski trip.
I have this in my car right now.
I think this is where I'm going to make some enemies. There's going to be people in chat that are diehard right now.
It's the first time I've ever used it. And for me, I've always just used the regular blue windshield wiper fluid, whatever, $1.99 per gallon at the gas station. And I've dumped it. Occasionally, I'll use the one with the antifreeze when I'm in a cold climate. I don't have to do that now because North Carolina, apparently we don't get ice. And so I don't have to do that. But I just recently, they had this green bottle that said Rain-X on it. And I put that in. And I was blown away with the difference. But apparently, this is the lesser quality. There's something else out there that will just repel rain and never hits the car type thing.
Well, if you find yourself in inclement weather where you really need to blast your windshield clean because you've got mud or something, that Rain-X stuff, it just creates this nasty film on the windshield that you can't get off and can't remove. So for daily use, it's fine. But we bought the wipers that they even make now and all their other stuff. It was so bad. It's just.
I thought I had the best stuff out there, and now apparently I'm barely off the bottom. All right, I'll change my windshield wiper fluid out this week, apparently. Find some good stuff. Where can I buy that? Is that Walmart? Not the pickle aisle, but one more over? Is that where to find it?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, my overrated this week, and this was a big frustration this week, but my overrated is the underground utility locator services. And for those that don't know, if you own property and you have to do any digging on your property, and most areas they have a law that says you're required to call 811, or they'll have a number like Dig Before You Go or Blue Stakes. They have all these different companies all over the United States. Every utility company is required when you call this number and put your information in, they'll have like 7 days or something to come out, and they'll spray paint all over your grass, and they'll put little flags in, they'll spray paint the road and everything and tell you where all the lines are. Where your sewer line is, where your water, where your cable, where your gas line. Every line, it could be under power lines can be buried, the internet cables, anything that could be buried in the line that is a utility coming onto your property. They're not going to mark your sprinkler system or something like that. They'll come and mark for you. And so they came and did that for me this last week. And
we know how that went.
And I dug a 16-foot trench about 3 feet deep and 2 feet wide looking for this pipe. that did not exist. And it was 8 feet further beyond the 16 feet in the wrong direction from where they said it was. My back is still not all the way better. Okay, I threw my back out. There were days where I was on probably more than the recommended dose of painkiller just to sit here and live stream because I was so much pain from standing in this hole, shoveling deeper and deeper and deeper. I will say that we did actually locate a pipe in that area where they told us it would be, but it went the other direction, and it's not a sewer line. It's something else. Like it's from the 1800s. From some other system before anything was set up here. I think there was actually a general store next to our property, and it might have been a pipe for that. But yeah, so I'm not impressed with those guys that have all those cool. It looks like they have all the technology that can just see down into the earth and tell you exactly what's down there, and they make those marks on the road, and you're thinking, wow, I wish they could see, just the vision into the ground that they're using. No, it's complete BS. They're just guessing.
I have to agree with you. Not long ago, we had some work done on property that required that service, and I was talking to the contractor that was doing the new building work, and he said they hit lines all the time because those guys mismark things all the time. He said it's ridiculous. Yeah. So I feel bad that it's happened to you.
Because of them, we ended up hitting. Not finding, but hitting and breaking our sewer line.
That stinks.
We ended up hitting and breaking a gas line that was no longer in use. We ended up hitting and breaking another drain line that we didn't know about. I think there were 4 lines we ended up taking out, and all looking for that sewer line. But now we've tied in. Everything's good. It's my back's almost better, but they definitely take a big L in my book this week. Those underground utility locator services. Not a fan. 0 out of 10. Would not recommend.
It's the best overrated to date.
That's awesome. Well, Thomas, we have some sad news to tell people.
We do, yes.
Yeah. Does everyone have a tissue? Just take a moment. Go get a tissue and please be seated. Some people find it easier to take this news sitting down than standing up. If you do have to stand, just make sure you can stand next to something that's sturdy and you can hold on to as you absorb the information we're about to give you. Is everybody ready?
It's heavy.
It's heavy. It's really bad. As much fun as this has been, having this podcast together with everybody. Being with Thomas, it's been amazing. It's been wonderful. We've enjoyed it. You guys have been so appreciative and everything. We're going to have to take a break for 1 week because Thomas's schedule doesn't work next week. So we're going to have to take a week off.
1 week. Just 1 week.
I'm sorry. It's just 1 week. It's all. There is no way we would quit doing this. I'm sorry if I led you down the path a little bit with that one. But next week, we're not going to be able to do a podcast together. And it wouldn't be fair for me to go on without Thomas because he's my better half when it comes to the podcast. What he puts in and makes possible is incredible. I wish you guys could see behind the scenes of how this works. But we're going to have to take just a little bit of a break, give us a week off. The good news is during that week off, those eggs are going to be marinating in the spicy maple bourbon pickle juice. They're just going to get a little stronger. The flavor is just going to be a little more powerful. Powerful good, hopefully. I'm really hoping that this ends up well because Thomas really got off easy with your delicacy. I don't even know what to... I think it's something I would find at a pastry shop, what you just had. On a dare. Thanks, Myra.
Like I said, I have a full thing of peanut butter and cream cheese, so I have breakfast for the morning. But
yeah. So,
but yeah, we were thinking about doing another day next week or something like that. But it's my day job is cut up. I've got a work event next week where I'm going to be traveling most of the day Wednesday, and then I'm I'm booked up, and I'm with my boss and my colleagues all the way through Sunday, and it's a 5-hour drive for me. So we were trying to find a way to make it happen. It's just too tough next week, but we'll certainly be back the Friday after, absolutely, because we have fun doing this and have fun with you all here and chat too.
And during this time, if you haven't had an opportunity to send in a news story, a suggestion, something funny that you think would fit perfectly on the show, even if it's just a suggestion for what we should do our top 3 of, or overrated, underrated for you, anything like that, please send it to the burner phone. Let us know. We'd love to include your content in the show because you guys are much more creative than I am, and so I definitely appreciate it. But it's gonna be, we'll be back the week after.
Absolutely.
And for those who follow on the daily live stream that I do as far as the court cases, we've got a new case to watch. We've got a good case, and I caught up a little bit on it today. I cannot wait to tell you about it on Monday. It's going to be fantastic. Cool. Please be there. It's going to be fun. But podcast will be back. Nothing next Friday. You get a week off, but the week after we'll be back stronger than ever.
Absolutely. 2 quick things as we sign off. Jojo Peters says, think RA'd, whether I have you blocked. No, I see it. You're in there. We just might have missed your fast few comments. And then Ivan says, I'm as good looking as Thomas. He said I'm not as good looking as Thomas, but I'll co-host. Ivan, I beg to differ. I think you're a better looking man.
He's a handsome man. I'll have to share with you his Twitter account. He posts some amazing pictures of himself sometimes. I think today we got a selfie from Ivan, which I think everyone should get to see. Ivan, should I share that picture maybe on Monday? Maybe we'll put that picture out.
Absolutely.
We'll see. I think it's time to play a little bit of music. Thomas, it's been fun. It's been so good to be with all of you tonight. It's been just a blast to talk about the crazy things that happen in the news that are going on all around us. And we've just scratched the surface. There's so many stories, so many places we didn't go, so many foods we didn't talk about. The best is yet to come.
There's plenty more to go. Thank you, everyone in chat, for all your views, for watching, and your participation. It makes it absolutely amazing. So I hope everyone has a fantastic weekend.
I do as well. And right now, I should probably be ready to put up something that I'm not ready for. Hold on. Stall for me, Thomas. We need just a second longer. I can hop in there. I almost transitioned to a tweet from the National Park Service instead, which was not how I wanted to go out. Right. And then we'd have a little hot mic moment. I'm good now. AJ, will NZ be safe for me tomorrow? I'm not sure. I haven't looked. I will look, and then I will post it in the comments of this podcast once it gets posted up on the channel. Thank you very much. Thank you, Myra. Thank you, everyone who was given just generous super chats. Thanks again. Stop hogging the pickles. I'm going to open up this aisle. We've got a crowd of angry people down both sides that want to come down and pick up these pickles. So I'm going to get out of here in just a minute. Hopefully I can escape. I'm in the Piggly Wiggly right now, for those that don't know. Sitting in my local Piggly Wiggly, which is, they were nice enough to let me broadcast from here. So thank you very much. Appreciate all of you guys. Have a great night. Love you all. You're like family to me. Thomas, stay safe. Have a great weekend. We'll see everybody on Monday. All right? Will do. All right. Bye, everybody.